All right, everyone, welcome back to the Be Healthy and Thrive podcast. My name is Brianna Wilkerson. I am your host. I am a health and life coach and essential wellness advocate and recently CrossFit Level 1 trainer. And I have with me today Anya Perry, who is also CrossFit Level 1 trainer, health and wellness coach for female entrepreneurs, and so many other things. And she's actually also a co-host with me for the Healthy Body Summit happening in August. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Brianna.
Yes, it's so exciting. So she's been on the podcast before. I think it was episode 5 when we were talking about enjoying exercise again. I think that was the only episode I had like 5 women on. It was so cool. We talked for a long time because we were just very excited. But when I was thinking about having someone co-host this summit with me, I knew that it was Anya Perry, just because she's just so awesome. And we have very similar things that we kind of talk about and lead women in regards to having the healthy body. So will you just maybe take some time to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and a little bit of your journey in kind of having and getting a healthy body?
Sure, absolutely. And I really enjoyed that episode. I can't believe it's episode 5 because I feel like it's been a while, right?
It has.
It was a lot of fun when we did that. I'm Anya Perry. I'm a health coach and wellness coach for women entrepreneurs, just like you said. I'm a CrossFit coach level 1. I coach locally, and most of my work is actually online. I do work with some local clients, and I focus on things like nutrition and optimal health and self-love and confidence for women. And the more I coach, I've been in business. Today is actually 2 years. My business was founded 2 years ago, and I was super excited today to get this reminder on Facebook. 2 years, yes. So it's fairly new, but I think I'm learning pretty quickly, and I'm developing. My business is shifting, and my programs are shifting, and I really, really love what I do. So when I have questions, when I call my grandma, she's like, well, so when are you going to get a real job? I'm like, no, grandma, this is my real job. This is what I do for a living, right? So I do many things. I coach one-on-one, I coach group programs. I am about to launch my first online course. I'm thrilled about because I've been working on it for a while. And my journey started actually 6 years ago. I was finishing up my schooling here. I'm an immigrant from Russia. You can hear my accent, so feel free to mock me. I'm good with that.
No mocking. No mocking.
I love jokes about my accent. So
okay.
I moved here, and after a few years of living in the States, I started just exploding weight-wise. I never gained too much weight, but I knew I was very unhealthy. My blood pressure was 145/85 when I was in my 20s, and I'm afraid to think how unhealthy I was regarding other health parameters and metrics. So at some point, I've had a very, very low, I think we should hit that bottom before we start floating up and swimming up. So I hit that rock bottom, and for me, it was where I felt absolutely miserable in my skin. I did not feel good about how I looked, what I ate, my life, my relationships, my emotions, my mindset. None of that was making me happy, and I was a pretty successful person, so there was a huge disconnect. I started looking into things. I started running and eating paleo at that time, 2012. And my health changed dramatically in a few years. And then about 6 months later, I met an amazing guy, which he is a part of my story. I'm trying to make it as short as I can, but he is a part. He lost 200 pounds before he met me, and that was a huge influence for me to learn from him how he did it, how he came to optimal health and abundant living and happy mindset where he did the way he did. And that's when my first thoughts of starting my business started kind of getting in my head. And I had some corporate career, and I was participating in it and did not find myself. It was not my place, not happy there. And that's how I started blogging, and then started my business, got certified as a primal health coach. If you heard of Mark Sisson, I'm one of his coaches. Love doing Whole30s, love doing all other challenges and learning. And then CrossFit started getting into play too. So that's a long answer to a short question, Brianna.
No, I think you did a really great job, actually, because I know there's so much more. That's just such a beautiful story, and I love because you're a prime example of, it's a journey, and it started with you just really coming to a point where you're like, enough is enough, and I need to do something, and you've had someone who's either gone through it or just someone to coach you along the way, which is now your husband, right? But And so that's just such a great story. And so I know that you've blessed so many others through it. So you are definitely the one to kind of help with this. And so I'll share a little bit about me, kind of very similar story to Tanya is, but I kind of started in high school where I was kind of always overweight as a child, and we just ate a lot out. We ate a lot of fast food. We ate, and I didn't think anything of it until I started sports, and, naturally you start eating a little bit better. And so then the weight just came off, and I started to get a lot of affirmation. And then people, which is good but bad, because you start to find your worth in that affirmation of how you're looking. And then something happened, and a huge hurricane hit, and we had to go away for a little while, and my friends had to go away. And so I just was trying to deal with what I could control, and that then became exercise and food. I exercised way too much, barely ate, and definitely became anorexic again. And then not dealing with that issue. Later on in high school, I was really stressed, so I went to food for comfort, the opposite, so gained it all back. So I've kind of seen both ends of the spectrum, and just really unhappy with my weight. But it wasn't until college that and then I came back. It was college when it started, but when I moved back after college, I was like, I really need to do this. And for me, it was very much a spiritual journey as well. And that's where Made Well comes from. It comes from the Bible. And I just knew it was time to change. And I did it similar to you, just slowly, and made it a journey and enjoyed it. I just started walking. I didn't do anything. I didn't know what paleo was for the first 2 years. And it just became something of like a gift and self-care and self-love to finally do this for myself in the right way. And eventually I started CrossFit and got introduced to paleo, and then Whole30. And Whole30 for me was what changed everything, because it just showed me that you could eat real food, not feel deprived, and take care of yourself. And you didn't have to give in to your cravings. And I'm like, whoa, this is like so empowering, And so it was at that point, I think 2014, wow, that feels like yesterday, but that's 4 years ago, that I was like, I need to do something too. And so I started blogging, and it was not a good blog. It was like, I probably broke every single rule in regards to blogging. It was just, I was too excited, you just put it up there. And then eventually I found Integrative Nutrition Health coaching program and took that. And I knew once I was doing it, had clients, that that's what I wanted to do. So I eventually did a slow progression, left my accounting career, been doing coaching ever since, and kind of started essential oils around the same time. I had tendonitis in my wrists, actually from doing, what is that one workout? Is it Nancy, where you're doing the running and the overhead squats? And it just provided a lot of pressure on the wrist, and I didn't listen to it. And so I kept using it, and it became inflamed. So I got bad tendonitis. And so I used something called Deep Blue, which is helps with pain naturally, the same way that ibuprofen was, with a natural component from wintergreen called methyl salicylic acid. And that changed my life forever. So that's kind of why I added it in. And then eventually brought in the CrossFit, because I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years, and have just seen, I think people look at, and you probably know this too, people look at it and they're like, what? I could never. And that's what I used to think. A pull-up, I thought that was for men. Push-up, I thought that was for men. It's just not, but it's all about function. And I love the functionality of it. Like, I have to push off the ground. I have to pick things up. I have to, squat from time to time, and just being able to do those things, and it be community-based and fun and different every day and challenging and not too long, really just kind of roped me in, because I was a runner before that too. So, yep, last month got passed in order to start coaching other women in it. So that's where I'm at today. So we're super, super similar. Not a primal health coach, but
that's, there's no, as you notice, the trends and those dimensions of health and how people treat those paleo, primal, keto, healthy eating, they're all in right now. They just get into, there's mainstream. They're becoming mainstream, basically. So that's
right. Yeah. And I just love it. If anyone's listening, they haven't heard of those things. Basically, it's eating more in whole foods. And some of them is just focusing on more of one, maybe macronutrient or micronutrient than the other. And so I think at the end of the day, regardless of which one you follow, right, it's just eat less processed food, and things will be so much better for so many of us. And so, yeah, so that's a little bit about us. So we wanted to then talk to you today about this summit that is starting on August 20th. So I've hosted a couple summits before, but this is the first one really focused on the body. And covering 7 what I would call pillars of a healthy body: nutrition, exercise, stress management, sleep, digestion, toxic load, and mindset and habits. So we invited 10 other speakers other than ourselves, other women, to speak on those topics. It will be 5 days, 2 encore days, meaning if you miss the videos during the 5 days, you can watch them then. And so we're super excited. I don't know. I mean, I can get into a little bit more details, but I don't want to talk all myself. Anya, how do you feel about the summit coming up?
I'm super excited. I was just thinking about it once we started working and I started pulling people together and all the guest speakers. First of all, once I started getting all the videos from them, I started even getting more excited because they're so gentle in their ways and they're so knowledgeable. And I'm just excited to share this knowledge because I feel like these women creating a ripple effect, we're spreading things. And there's so much more on the internet, and I like how we can put a few things together within a week to educate on certain aspects. And if you know that you're missing that piece, for example, today I slept in because I felt like I needed it. So if you know that you're eating well, but your working out is okay, but your sleep is not, that's what you would need to focus. And I think those pillars, this is what I look back in my journey, and I could not figure them out right away because time, right? It takes time practicing Helio or Whole30, and then you start in CrossFit, or I was a serial marathon runner. I was just killing myself doing marathons. It took me a while to learn what kind of exercise is actually good for me, right? So I think it's incredible that we have these amazing women to share their knowledge in kind of concise manner, so you don't have to go anywhere else. You can just take this whole healthy body, learn in a week, and go implement whichever part you want.
And I just love what you were saying, though, is that just the idea that, it is going to be quite a bit of videos. You only have a week to get them, but they're going to be short, 10 to 15 minutes or so each. But you're not going to take away everything and apply it right away. And that's even with the work we do with our clients. Right? We don't actually want anyone to apply everything right away. It's what is most helpful for you in the time. And so I'm just going to kind of share a little bit about a few of the topics. And so really, if you go to madewell345.com/Healthy Body Summit, you'll be able to see the pictures of all the speakers, their topics, what areas of healthy body they fall in, and you can sign up right away, and that way you're for sure getting access. And so the first day, we're going to have a lot about nutrition and digestion. We're going to have topics on raw food and why you don't need to be 100% raw to benefit from the raw food diet. That's by Samantha Salmon. We have Anya Perry, who is going to talk about how to create simple, delicious meals that support your health. Kara Yeager on 4 powerful ways to heal your gut. Day 2, we're going to have Missy Berkowitz. Berkowitz. She's going to listen and be like, what? And she's awesome. Her picture's awesome too, by the way. And how to create varied workouts with just 3 movements. We have Lou. She's going to talk about 3 yoga techniques to help you stress less. Crystal, talking about how food, thoughts, and exercise are essential to reducing stress. Rachel, which I'm super excited about this. She's an infant and child sleep coach. So all the moms out there, or to-be moms, listen in. And how the impact of healthy sleeping habits on the mom and children's health. Kelly, love Kelly. She's going to talk about going green and minimizing your body's toxic load. She's an organic beauty specialist. She's a lot of great stuff. I'm going to be talking about how to cleanse your body with the Whole30 and essential oils. Tiffany on how to ditch the diets and build healthy habits. Jenny on heart-centered habit shifts. And Deanna on 10 tips to find your food freedom. So that was just a brief overview of the topics, but definitely go check it out and you'll be able to get all that. And what's so beautiful, so you're not only going to get trainings, you're going to get a lot of free stuff too. The best part. So each of them have a free guide or free resource or something that anyone can sign up for, but they all have different giveaways, whether it's a book, whether it's free coaching sessions, free courses. And so what you need to do in order to win the free stuff is you have to join me and Anya's Facebook group. So Anya has Eat Well and Thrive with Anya Perry, and I have the Healthy and Thriving Women. Now, is your group just for women, or is men in it too?
I think there are a few, just like
hanging around. Primarily the groups are for women, but if you sign up and you really want to receive these prices, just feel free to email us. We just serve mainly women, so that's why we're saying this. But in the groups, once you join right away so you can get to know everyone in the group and so forth. But you're going to have to, during the summit, comment on the prizes that you want. because we're not just going to like put everyone's name. It's only those who really want those prizes. And so there are, again, the prizes are amazing. The content's amazing. We feel like so like special that we get to watch it all before and see it all before. So it's cool. Yeah. So that's it. We're super excited. And then I don't know, Anya, if you wanted to talk a little bit more about your course. Is your course going to be available at the end of the summit, or?
It's going to be available. I'm just working on a tentative date. I think I'm going to release it right after the summit.
Okay.
Because I don't want to enter.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go. So my course it's still, I'm not revealing the name because it's still work in progress. But I don't know, I'm just picking like that. My course is 7 Days to Self-Love. This is a tentative name for it. And this is my first course. I'm very excited. I've put a lot of effort into it. And the reason I wanted to launch it, because I went through so many traumatic experiences as a woman and a child in the past. And this was a huge part of my journey, going from very insecure person, unhappy in my skin, and miserable, and picking myself apart, to happy, bubbly, usual myself. So for me, I'm sharing the methods that I use to recover from or get to where you want to be, and happy and awesome, feeling amazing in your skin. Yeah, so I think it's going to be right after the summer.
Yeah. If not, they can join the wait list. Just join the wait list.
Something awesome too. I know something is coming up, right?
Yeah. So everyone knows that I'm such a Whole30 geek because it works. I think everyone needs to do something like it once in their life. And so over the last few years, I've just tweaked the way that I've led it. And now I've combined everything into a 6-week program. And this time I'm running it just as a group. And there's 6 weeks where we're going to have a preparation week of what the Whole30 is. And then how do you prepare for it? Then 4 weeks of doing it, and then 1 week of reintroduction. And there's a group call each week. There's trainings. There's tons of resources, recipes. And then most of all, you're going to get a Facebook group, community, and accountability partner to kind of help you through it. And what it is, it's a great reset. You're eating whole food, natural foods to reset not just your body nutrition-wise, but sleep-wise, but stress-wise. All these 7 whole pillars that I know that when I look back on every time I've done the Whole30, and it's similar to you saying, looking back on the things we've actually done, it's all 7 of these areas we're talking about, and you can show up. So those are the 7 areas I actually talk about in the Whole30 as well. And that will start the day after Labor Day, I guess, so September 4th. But early bird enrollment, it would be probably around the time of the summit. Then they'll have 1 more week left. And so if you're interested in that from now, just let me know. You can book a discovery call. We can still talk about it to see if it's a great fit, right? Same with you. Like, it might not be a great fit, might not be a great season. So that's okay. It's just, if it is, taking that opportunity. So yeah, so that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for joining, Anya. It's so short, but I could keep talking. But we're like, we got to reel it in. So thank you again, guys. Make sure your action point for today is to join the summit. Go to madewell345.com/healthybodysummit. Enter your name and email, confirm your subscription, then you'll get all the details sent to your email. And then join our Facebook groups. All right, everyone. Thank you. And we will see you in the summit. All right. Bye.